Hello, third video in the series, Real Estate Crisis in Prague. I received a lot of questions, a lot of comments, and I've decided to make a video because it's simply easier and faster to reply to all these contributions. I'm very happy that you guys are writing and asking and also commenting in our group on Facebook. In the link in the description, you will find the group that we have on Facebook. It's about not getting ripped off in Prague with real estate. We monitor prices, we see how it goes. We are just regular folks like all of you, and we are part of the market, right? Even though most of you, like me, for example, are not actively searching or buying anything, doesn't mean we cannot talk about it, right? So this is part of my disclaimer as well. I am not a realtor. I have no hidden agenda. I'm not here to sell you anything. I don't want to sell you some suggestions or books. This is just my artistic expression and my personal point of view regarding real estate crisis in Prague. Let's start. So I wrote down a few notes, and these notes got direct inspiration for what you just told me and from the questions you just asked me. We will focus a little bit in the beginning on the last part of our of the previous video, and regarding negotiation and in general the role of the buyer. Now, as I said in the previous video, you are a buyer, you're not a seller. Your main goal is not the main goal that a seller has, which is selling at the highest price possible, right? Now, a lot of people told me like, yeah, but Pasquale, I cannot, if I say no to their price point, I will just not get the property, which is partly untrue. What I mean is like, of course, someone will ask you for a price, but it doesn't mean that you have to buy at that price. And you always have to keep in mind, and this is about perspective. This is about economics. It's a very peculiar aspect of economics, is perspective. So the perspective of a buyer is different than the perspective of a seller. I need to buy at a reasonable price or a lowest price possible. And the seller obviously wants to sell at the highest price possible, but that's why you need to negotiate and you need to make an offer. Never buy for the price that you've been asked. You will say, but I will lose the opportunity. And you say, and I would say like, and then what? First rule that you have to keep in mind, if you are buying especially for living, because you need a place to live, so it's your first property, it is, look at it as a cost, because that's what it is. You're not investing any money. A lot of people will sell it to you as an investment, but in reality it is just a cost. So you have to keep in mind also this when you will request a mortgage and so on. So never consider the highest price or just the mortgage installment as the only expense you will have, because it's not true. You will have other expenses like everyday life. You will have food to buy, general expenses like buying clothing and so on. So all this should be considered when you buy a property, when you access to credit, because nowadays banks are so eager to provide you with credit, but in reality what really happens is that even though if you can meet the down payment requirements in order to access for credit, it doesn't really mean that you can afford the apartment, that you can afford to pay the installments. Don't forget that it's a 30-year lifespan. It's a very long period of time in which you need to pay back, to repay, and the bank will not be just looking at you and saying, oh, this month you will not be able to meet your payment, to make your payments. It's fine, let's do it another time. Obviously in the current COVID situation, the current COVID emergency, the mortgage installments got frozen for a while, but this doesn't mean that you will not have to pay these 6 months. They just froze them and they are waiting for you right after that. So always consider this. The mortgage installments should never exceed maximum to 1/3 of your salary. Maximum. I would say never get into debts for 1/3 of your salary for mortgage installments, because don't forget that then whatever you do later on, you are the owner of the place. This means that any damage, any sudden problem that you will have, it's on you. You have to pay for it. Yeah. So this is also additional money you need to consider when you buy property. Yeah. So this is the first rule. The second rule is like, you make money when you buy, not when you sell. This means that be very cautious when you buy. And this is why you need to negotiate. And this is why you need to make an offer. Because currently the prices in Prague are so crazy. They more than doubled already in 7 years. Yeah. So you need to be very careful, because this is a cycle, economic cycle. And very, very likely there will be a bubble that will burst sooner or later, because the prices are really, really high for most of the people, even young professionals, even established professionals just like me, that earn a considerable amount of money, way, way above the average. And, when mortgage installments are like half of your salary, or an entire average salary here in Prague, so around 30,000, 35,000 crowns per month, this should really ring a bell for you. So be very, very cautious about that when you buy, because you will make your money immediately when you buy. Because if you expect that you will buy at a hella high price and sell a little bit more than the hella high price, you are, I would say, you're doomed. But again, do as you like. Yeah, do as you like. It's about that. Usually, what people would tell you, and me as a salesperson, not in real estate, obviously, I would advise, it's very simple. You make money only if you buy low and sell high. And you say like, oh, thank you, Pasquale. This is a fantastic suggestion. It seems like a very, very obvious, yet a lot of people tend to forget about this. Believe me. And because as I told you, it's a matter of perspective. Yeah. What the credit you're getting is a debt for you and a credit for the bank. So a debt is a credit, and a credit is a debt for someone else. Never forget about that, because you need to make your payments. Yeah. And you need to make them for quite a long time. Now, usually a good apartment, or for example, a nice house to live in, are very good for you if you want to live in it. Yeah. But if you intend to make, for example, an investment, they may not be a good investment. Yeah. So when you look at it and you need to buy, always try to understand if you need to buy for yourself, or if you need to buy to make this investment. Yeah. If you make an investment, if you want to invest buying an apartment, don't consider the fact that you will put this property for rent. Yeah. What I mean is, like, obviously you can rent it, and obviously you can make a profit out of it, but consider a few things. The current situation is like that. A lot of people are abandoning Prague, and this will not stop soon. And if you buy with a mortgage that you need to meet, let's say you need to pay every month for a 3-room apartment 33,000, 35,000 crowns net, then you have to add also the bills, all the payments that you need to do for the, for example, the maintenance of the building and so on. Believe me, it's a lot of money to ask to someone for renting in a moment in which a lot of people will not simply be ready to do that. Also because prices for renting are going down and prices for buying went even higher. So this means that something may happen on the buying, on the buying side. So I wouldn't buy right now for this reason. Actually, I wouldn't buy at all. Even it will take still a while, I think, a couple of years and so on. But it's my personal opinion, as I said. And always prefer, obviously, properties that are located in, a large urban area, economically, stable and so on. But then again, in times like this one, as you can see, even buying a property in Prague does not ensure you that you will be able to resell it at that price. Because always consider this. Always consider this. Make your calculations very carefully. Because it seems like I heard a lot of people saying like, well, okay, I will just take the price that I will pay, which you don't pay, by the way, because if you're accessing a mortgage for 30 years and you start with 10%, I'm telling you, if you start with 10%, you have absolutely nothing. You have 10% of the down payment. The property is yours only nominally, theoretically, Obviously, you need to pay for 30 years, make your payments, and it's very long time frame to consider. So that's why it's very important to have a mortgage, not a low interest rate. That's two different things. You need a low price, because even if you have a low interest rate but you have a super high price, for you it's unsustainable. Always look at this, because a lot of people will talk you into getting it because it's an investment. They will tell you that the interest rates are low, and they are. Interest rates are low. So when usually interest rates are low, this means two things. First one, banks are not making any money, because with low interest rates, they make no money. This is the thing. And second of all, interest rates, when they are low, when they are super low, it only means that they will go higher, not lower than that. And they will not be stable, because it doesn't work like this. It's a cycle, as I told you. So consider also that whatever you access for credit, you access for a price, a rate that is not fixed. Not fixed. So whatever costs now 33,000, in a very, very favorable moment for rates, this means that if it grows just 1%, 2% out of such a high amount that you own, which represents a salary in Prague, Czech Republic, do the math, guys. A lot of people will tell you, but there will be inflation. But inflation is not 100%, right? Like it happened with the increase of the prices in 7 years here. And I don't think that your income will improve so much or as much as that, And inflation, yes, it helps you, obviously, because if the low interest rates are very low, there will be some inflation that will be good, then it will eat, let's say, a part of your debt. But if the price is high like crazy, it doesn't matter. Believe me, it will have little to no influence. Then always it's very important to never, and I said never, and I really mean it, never invest with friends, relatives, and never invest with your significant other, especially with your significant other. And never, if you're a renter, rely on the average, Ludzka and Honza, that they will pay the rent, together, because couples are like rock bands. They disband, and believe me, they really do. So and it's the same when you buy. Today you're together, you're super happy, and so on. You have even kids, for example, and tomorrow you may divorce. And it's not me talking about it. It's not me being pessimistic about it. It's like common life. It's everyday life. It can happen. In the Czech Republic, I can tell you that statistically, 50% of couples divorce. Married couples, divorce. It's data. You can find it on the net. Just search on the net about it. The divorce rate in Czech Republic or divorce rate wherever you live, and find out yourself. Never buy properties in timeshare or similia. Never do that. It's a waste of money and it's a rip-off. So, as I said, not all properties obviously will guarantee you a profit or an income. This is very important also. A lot of people, as I said, a lot of people will talk you into buying, and they will tell you that it's an investment. It's an investment. We already saw that if you buy and you live inside, it's a cost. It doesn't mean that it's bad. I'm actually oriented to buy property to live in myself. I would do that. I just don't do it when when renting is like sometimes a half cheaper than paying a mortgage installment. So at the moment, this is a situation in Prague, and you can understand that it's not sustainable, and sooner or later it will burst, believe me. And let's debunk again this myth that they have in Czech Republic that real estate market never crashes. It's a market. Czech Republic is no different than other countries. They are part of European Union, but in European Union, market crashed already. And it will happen also in Czech Republic, sooner or later. Go on and see the previous videos. I have also some very good tips there for you, waiting for you, just like that. Don't fall in love with properties. There are good properties all the time, and there will be always good properties all the time on the market. Now, consider that time is more important than money in this phase, because if you waste time, you waste even more resources, a more precious resource than money itself. So consider this. So it's very important that, because if you buy something just because you really have to, because I want to, first of all, you are just doing what the other guys want you to do, which is buying at all costs. All costs. Even grammatically, in a language, there's a thing called all costs. Never do that in real estate. Never, especially if you intend to live in the property you want to buy. Learn how to negotiate. I told you a million times in this video, and I will never stress it enough. Never buy for the price that you've been asked. Always negotiate. And if you don't make it, unless it's really, really low, a really, really low price, then in that case, if you don't manage to get a discount or a better price and so on, don't buy. Don't buy. There will be another property available next week, the subsequent one, and so on and so on. Remember, time is more important than money in this phase. So really important. Investing in real estate with loans is very good. Investing in real estate with the current prices in Czech Republic with loans is suicidal. Simple as that. Unless you make around 100,000 crowns net a month. In that case, you can go on. And if it's stable, obviously. If your income is around that, a loan. Don't invest with significant others, with relatives. Don't do that. But let's say that if you make that money alone, which is very uncommon, I can tell you, then it's time for you to, you can invest anyways. Who cares? You can buy anyways, and you will be fine. Look at the potential bargain you can make out of this apartment. It's very important when you buy a property. Never listen to realtors when they tell you, it's a good, it's my prices will go up, prices will go higher. At some point it will not. They will stop to go higher, and you will be there with your multi-million mortgage, multi-million apartment that you will not be able to sell back to anybody else. Don't forget that it's a market. Don't forget that there are sharks, and don't forget that there's a very important component, even if you buy for yourself, even if you buy it and we consider it as a cost, right? Which is risk. There's always risk. especially if you get a loan. If you buy with your money in the pocket, the only risk you have that is that your investment will devaluate. You will lose some money, but who cares? If you live in it, can be fine for you anyways. Yeah. But if you buy with a loan and prices go down and you stay there, and maybe you bought with the false belief that in a couple of years, in 3 years, you will resell it, you're going to be hit hard and the market will wipe you out. Because that's what happens when we don't calculate. Make your calculations all the time. Be super cautious. Because when we talk about spending more than 1,000 euros, 1,200 euros, which may seem little money, it is not in the country of Czech Republic, in the city of Prague. If someone has Czech income, it's not little money. It's the salary of entire salary of a person for a month. Yeah, you have to be very cautious because you have very little room for negotiation or where you can resell it back in order to make money. And don't believe to the people that will tell you, oh, reselling, for example, passing the mortgage to someone else is easy. It's not easy anywhere else. I don't understand why it's easy here. And I don't think it will be easy here, especially, as I said, with this burden of the high price that you paid for it. Thank you so much again. Be very cautious. It's super important. It's money. So, money is important in our life. Investing is also important, but be careful. Really, be careful because I hear a lot of people talking a lot of nonsense just because they have access to credit. Well, believe me, at the moment, with 10% of down payment, these are conditions that I've seen and I haven't seen almost anywhere else. But the prices that I saw here, I've also not seen almost anywhere else. And believe me, they are too high. So it's risky. Have a nice day, guys, and hopefully see you very soon. Ciao.